gave the only C. How come you gave a C?
She wasn't clear enough on the policies. She did speak a lot of her personal history, which was great, but I still don't feel like she's ready. I feel like more so she should wait. I don't want to, per se, vote for someone that is a backup.
When it comes to Tim Walz, he is hailed by, the LGBT community for, he's praised by them for allowing minors to medically transition, the appearance of their gender. So you have all sorts of stuff around that. What are your thoughts about that?
That's crazy. They're minors, meaning that their mind is fully not developed yet. So really, they don't know what the hell they're doing.
Kamala Harris, obviously, she's been VP the last 3.5 years. What was your favorite accomplishment of hers as VP of the United States?
Honestly, I can't answer that question.
Honestly, that's a good question. I can't really say specifically.
So we got to react to this undecided voters situation here from CNN. Honestly, I don't know how they undecided. It's not that hard. You either want big government or you don't want big government. You either want tyranny or you don't want tyranny. You want censorship or you don't want censorship. You know what I'm saying? You could have asked me in 2020 who I wanted. 2016 who I wanted. Trump, obviously, right? That's exactly who I would have picked for a bunch of reasons. I don't want high inflations. I don't want the taxing us like crazy. We got a dollar that's taxed, that's taxed again. When we die, we get taxed. Our burial gets taxed. Overtime gets taxed. We need someone else that can do something about this. I don't know if Trump's going to do something specifically about that, but he's better than Kamala. Kamala hasn't sat down for 35 days for an interview. She hasn't spoke to media. She's dodging them. Yeah, she sat down with Tim, but that's not no real media interview. That's just some hoopla. So was the phone call. Hoopla. Baloney. Anyway, let's take a look at this right here. I'm Buzz Brown Conservative. Let's go.
Patrick, also with the UAW. The grade you gave it again?
A B+.
How come B+?
Well, she was very confident in what she was saying. She showed leadership ability and understanding of the topics at hand. But again, she didn't go in depth. I did like what she said about what she's going to try to do for the middle class, about a tax break for us, which will be very nice, but still a little bit more information on some of the things that she's planning on doing.
Sean, also with the UAW. The grade you gave it again?
I gave her an A.
How come?
Hey, take it from these people, folks. These are the people who probably gonna be voting for Kamala Harris, and they're saying, "Hey, man, she didn't really lay out a plan. We didn't hear nothing about no plan. Yeah, something about the middle class, but there ain't no policy. That's just talking. You know what I'm saying? We might not even hear a plan till the debate in September with Donald Trump. They're gonna come up with something, I'm sure. I mean, so far we've heard about the price gouging thing, and then the not taxing your tip situation, but that was debunked a couple years ago. She was deciding to vote on that bill, that legislation. You know what I'm saying? She's the reason why it's getting taxed. But Donald Trump said it. No, don't tax your tips. That's my idea. It doesn't make sense. I don't understand how people cannot be undecided. It's either you're red or you're blue. There's no in between, because RFK, he's already endorsing Trump, right?
You're a nice guy, too, like everyone in this panel, and you gave the only C. How come you gave a C?
She wasn't clear enough on the policies. She did speak a lot of her personal history, which was great, but I still don't feel like she's ready. I feel like more so she should wait. I don't want to, per se, vote for someone that is a backup.
All right, well, but I'm going to ask you shortly. You're obviously not ready to vote for Kamala Harris.
Right.
I'm sure about that.
Right.
But what I want to ask all of you all together at this point, like I said, none of you were ready to make a commitment to any candidate in November. Please raise your hand right now if you're now ready to make a commitment after today. Wow. I'm just kind of surprised by it. We haven't rehearsed this. I'm going to make that very clear. Maybe we'll test this. 7 of you are now ready. Scott?
Yes, I'm going to vote for Kamala Harris.
Andy?
Yeah, Kamala Harris, yes.
Donna?
Yes, I'm voting for her also.
Sean? Sean?
Yes, Kamala.
Sabrina?
Kamala.
Patrick?
Kamala.
Brian?
Trump.
Trump? And finally, Lindsay.
See, that black man's the only one that's got balls to say what he wants to say. The only guy in the room being legitimate about what he's deciding on there. They even said, the other black guy said he's undecided. He's not sure. She don't got a plan. I don't know. This guy on the other side of it, he already knows what's up. He knows who he's going to vote for. He's not going to just go along to get along. He's sitting there at Trump. And this is CNN right here. They don't want no one voting for Trump on their panel to ask these questions, these little questionnaire stuff about polls or whatever the heck they're doing right here. I don't get it. You know what I mean? It's either Trump or Kamala. There's no in between now. If you want someone who's been installed, selected, not elected, you're going to pick Kamala. Obviously, right? Otherwise, why would you freaking go to do this crap right here and you already know who you're picking? They're not undecided. They decided 100%. They already knew who they were going to pick before they sat down with this guy to talk about Kamala's speech and how great it was or wasn't great, because it wasn't that great. It could have been better, but she didn't know what to do. She didn't know what to say. She was kind of half-assing it, honestly. Anyway, let's move on.
Decisions about their lives, and so it's taking power away from women to take away that freedom of choice, and it doesn't surprise me that those things are part of a plan.
One thing that we did hear a lot tonight was, why Trump is a horrible president, why we got to prevent Trump from, becoming president again. We heard a lot of that, and again, a lot of that is real. I think one thing that I would have loved to, probably hear a little bit more.
We heard more mentions about Trump than we heard about any kind of policy from Kamala Harris. They mentioned Trump's name like 157 times, apparently. They focusing on Trump. No one else but Trump. But they need to be focusing on Kamala because she's been ducking and dodging the media for 35 days. No interviews, no press interview, no walk-by talks, no small talk, no phone calls. She ain't have none of that. But oh no, Trump, he'd do it. Anyone, everyone. He went on with Theo Vaughn, a comedian. RFK, he went on with Joe Rogan. Kamala, who's she sitting down with? Tim Walz? Really? Come on.
When it comes to Tim Walz, he is hailed by, the LGBT community for, he's praised by them for allowing minors to medically transition, the appearance of their gender. So you have all sorts of stuff around that. What are your thoughts about that?
That's crazy. They're minors, meaning that their mind is fully not developed yet. So really, they don't know what the hell they're doing.
Do you support children being allowed to, begin that sex change process?
My personal opinion, no. But staying with the Bill of Rights, the first 10 amendments of the Constitution, to deal with that, because that brings a lot of balance. Our society, the American society, is better than a lot of other societies. So, I may don't like that, but I like the fact that in that Bill of Rights, there is a support for that.
Medical procedures for children to transition, there's support for that?
I don't support it.
Okay. Yeah, I just wanted to check. Now, when it comes to...
I swear, when these old people, when they gone, y'all gonna miss them. Y'all gonna miss them because they the ones speaking what they want to speak, saying what's on their mind. They not ducking and dodging. They don't give a damn about being called transphobic or homophobic or whatever phobic. They tell you how it is. Your brain don't develop till you're like 25, people. You think at 10 years old you can have a double mastectomy? Really? And then what happens when you're 18 years old and you're like, man, I wish I wouldn't have cut my breast off or disfigured my genitalia or taken these hormone medications? What happens to the people when they say, hey, I kind of made a mistake? What are they going to do? They can't go back. That stuff's permanent. Even Elon Musk said so. He lost his son to the woke mind virus.
Kamala Harris, obviously she's been VP the last 3.5 years. What was your favorite accomplishment of hers as VP of the United States?
Honestly, I can't answer that question.
Honestly, that's a good question. I can't really say specifically.
I can't, I'm humble there.
I think for women in productive rights, a man taking away our productive rights and our reproductive rights, you have no idea what you're doing. You know what I mean? So
So
You know?
reproductive rights, is abortion a big issue for you?
No, just in general, reproductive rights. You know, reproductive right, how I should utilize my body.
Woman has the right to choose if she chooses to choose, but at whose expense, okay? All right? Like somebody's expense is going to get hurt when it comes to abortion.
Yeah, that's an interesting one because right now it's to the states. So you don't want Americans, voting in their individual states on the particular topic of abortion. Is that correct?
That's a trick question.
Oh, I'm just honestly asking that. I'm curious what you think.
Every state has their own laws. But
should people in those states be allowed to vote for those laws, or do you think we should take that away and have the federal government take care of it?
I think we should take that away. I really do.
Well, the government left it up to the states to decide. But still, before we talk about abortion, I think people need to understand contraceptives, condoms, birth control, wait till marriage. That's why religion's good, because these people are waiting till marriage. Well, they're supposed to be, right? But now you got people having kids like crazy. Multiple baby daddies. You got these queens out here. Oh, wait, men ain't SHIT, sugar, honey, iced tea. They ain't none. We don't need them. We just need their money from child support. But what about not having all these kids? You know what I'm saying? So we're not having to deal with this burden to society. Taxpayer-funded abortions, etc. Whatever. You know what I'm saying? Let's try to do something else. Teach your kids, right? Don't have sex before marriage. Don't do it when you get into puberty. You know what I'm saying? Practice abstinence. You give purity rings out or something like that. You're special, ladies. Guys, save yourselves. Seriously. So we got to go to Twitter here, or X, my bad. September 2023, CNN does a segment on Kamala's unpopularity. Check out what Pelosi had to say about Kamala. Pelosi's defense on Kamala was that the VP doesn't do much. This was way less than a year ago. Contrast this with last night. Wow. Yeah, when Joe picked Kamala, she got lucky, right? She was the DEI pick. She's the, okay, who we gonna pick here? A black woman, right? She checked the box. She could have been lesbian to be been even better, right? But that's what they got. And even Pelosi's bashing her. Take a look.
This is, according to these critics, is his number two, Vice President Kamala Harris. Her numbers aren't great either. A poll from over the summer showed half of voters have a negative view of Harris. That's one of the lowest ratings for that poll. And among Democrats, she is obviously more popular. But listen to former House Speaker Nancy Pelosi earlier tonight, right here on CNN.
Is Vice President Kamala Harris the best running mate for this president?
He thinks so, and that's what matters.
But do you think she is the best running mate, though?
She's the vice president of the United States. So when people say to me, well, why isn't she doing this or that? I said, because she's the vice president. That's the job description. You don't do that much.
That's not exactly a loud endorsement.
You dummy. You don't do nothing. You're the vice president. What do you think your job is? You're supposed to watch the door. That's hilarious. But now in 2024, coming towards election season, 6 months before, or less, when they kicked out Joe Biden, the coup to switch to Kamala. Now she's the best there ever was. She was the best VP. She wasn't the border czar. She had nothing to do with it. It was all Trump's fault. It was all Biden's fault. But if you go back, the media's pointing at her that she's the problem. She didn't want to go to the border. She didn't want to go talk to those border agents. Nothing. The sheriffs, no one, because they didn't have nothing good to say about her. But now, 2024, here we go for the election. They all saying that she's great. Oh, she's great. She did best on the border. She did great on foreign wars. Inflation's low. The groceries aren't expensive because of Kamala. Kamala did this, that. And it's like, where's the truth at here? Who do we believe? Y'all let me know what y'all think in the comments. I'm Buzz Brown Conservative. Peace.